Can't really explain it, but this feels like the last update I will have to give if there's any negativity. The last 7 months at this point have been trying, extensive, and borderline beyond anything I could deal with. Having my bills stack, my finances dwindle, my career fall apart. It feels like I'm finally at a point where the only way to go is up, and I'm on that path. The last few weeks specifically have made me feel that way. I got the job offer and I made that video the day before I left. I ended up going to Florida to go have the celebration of life for my grandmother. And before I left, I had to drop off my dog at the border. It never feels good having to do that. I love my dog more than anything. She just turned 1 while I was out of town, which was very depressing. Having to just realize I wasn't going to be there with her. But you know, I needed to be with my family at that time. And it was an amazing experience. So I dropped her off at the border and I left for Florida. I ended up seeing family I've not seen in some cases over 10 years, including cousins who now I'm seeing them as adults, and it's so amazing seeing the adults and the humans they've become. It was an amazing time. Very good release of emotion with everybody. It taught me a lot as well. I knew about the history of my family when it comes to the military and their deep connections. But hearing continuously about the impact my grandmother had on the Air Force, or the things my great-grandfather went through as a POW in World War II, or hearing about the other aunts, uncles, grandparents that have all been in the Army, Air Force, Navy, Marines. It really put into perspective the amount of life my family has given. And I never did that. I will never be the type of person that they were. And I think a lot of that comes down to the period that I grew up in. When I was 11, my grandmother was in the Pentagon when it got hit. And we didn't even know if she made it for the whole day. It was nighttime before we finally heard from her. I in Florida with the family, finally was able to accept the loss of my grandmother, but also experience something with them. As a person that's never given them their life to religion, being with them and talking to them, and in that moment a video came up from my grandmother where she spoke and it felt like it was directed right to us, was something I cannot explain or truly understand. It happened, and when it was over, we all looked at each other, and we just knew that she was there talking to us. And it was a moment I needed. Having not been able to be there when she was having her last few days, but having to see how much she was struggling the month before, put me into a comfortable place where I could let go of the guilt I felt, or the sadness I had for not being able to be there for her. That's something I'll hold with me forever, and I'm so happy that me and my cousins were able to experience that together. I didn't think it would be easy for me to accept this loss, but I feel like I'm there. I'm now looking forward to seeing them again when we bury her at Arlington. And it's not bringing the sadness I had originally held for that moment, because it's going to be the last goodbye. But it's also an opportunity for us to rebuild these relationships and make efforts to keep this family moving forward together. I felt sad because we only had 3 or 4 days together, but a lot of my immediate family, my sister, my mother, my nieces, they were able to stay there for a few extra days with my grandfather, make sure that he is still doing okay, still transitioning to being alone. I don't know how else to put it. I'm still a little sick, but much better than I was 2 weeks ago. But I'm happy. And it was really good. Except for the end. My grandfather was the one that drove me to the airport and said goodbye, and I'll see you soon. But he knew, and I knew, it was the last time I would ever see him in Florida. He's going to be moving next to one of his daughters. Not my mother, but more reason for us to go see that part of the family. And seeing the strongest man I've ever known show that weakness, that emotional understanding of change, has made it a lot more bearable. It was a lot easier to leave, knowing that they were there. They're going to be there for him until he leaves next year. I'm doing a lot better, especially now that I've had the news of my new job. Speaking of, my computer finally came in. I work remotely, but having it in hand, knowing everything is actually happening, is a lot different than getting an offer. I left from Florida about 5 days ago. Came back to Michigan. I was here for, I don't even know, 12, 16 hours before I needed to leave for the Poconos. I mentioned previously that my friend group, who I only see once a year, we all left to go there on Thursday. And we held, for me, it was only my 12th Nerd Weekend, but I think they've been doing it for about 14 years now. And I don't know if you can see right there, I actually won Nerd Weekend for my first time in 12 years. We do this tournament. It's always indie slop. We choose a few games that no one has ever played, and we get points based off of our placing in these games. And this year, I finally won. I've made top 3 a couple times. This was the best house we've had yet. We had multiple floors with different things going on. Ping pong, movies, magic cards, people playing RuneScape, just nonstop board games. It was the best Nerd Weekend we've had. And it just felt almost anticlimactic because everything in the past couple weeks has been so positive that it didn't even hit me until I got back to Michigan from the Poconos. But yeah, I'm Nerd Weekend world champion. Let's pull that belt out. It's actually sick. One of our friends, sadly he couldn't make it this year, but one of our friends made this belt, which is a full-on wrestling belt for the winner every year. And yeah, I got to take it home this year. Very cool. Something I'm very happy about. Yeah, but that ended Sunday. And I drove back 9 hours to Michigan. I picked up my dog today, Draka. And she's the best. I love her so much. So impressed with her ability to deal with this continuous change. I got her in January this year, so it's been 11 months I've had her. Her birthday was a few days ago. And yeah, like I sent her to this training facility back in June when I had to watch my grandmother for a few weeks. And they've become a saving grace in this tough time with my grandmother, the loss of her. Because I've had to pick up and leave for a few days at a time, a week at a time. And they've always been willing to work with me, help me out. They prefer to be paid in cash, and they even offered, because I have no money, that, you know, I could have somebody in my family pay through Venmo or any option that should not be available to most people, but it was available for me. And yeah, I picked her up today. And she's in heat again. So my original plan with the vet was to get her fixed on December 1st. But that is now not possible. I will have to wait 8 weeks after she finishes her heat cycle. And that puts me really close to when we're doing the Arlington funeral. I have hope that the vet will be able to work with me, or the boarder will be able to work with me, and we can figure it out, because she's going to have to be in a cone afterwards for a few weeks. Never had a female dog before. It's a lot. These heat cycles come out of nowhere and they persist. I had her go through heat about 4 months ago, so this is a very quick cycle for what I understood, but I also realized being around other dogs or stress or whatever could induce it, and it is what it is. I have to put it off. I'll figure it out. I have a lot better of a mindset at this point where I can deal with that. I can figure that out. But yeah, I just wanted to give an update of really where I am. I'm back home. No plans to leave for 2.5, 3 months. So I anticipate my ability to upload something in the future will be met. I did not anticipate thousands of views on the first video. I remember when I posted my update, I was still at a couple hundred. And it's been 2 weeks, and now I'm at a few thousand views on that single video. And even more surprisingly, I'm almost at 200 subscriptions already. I've done nothing. I don't deserve the following or the attempts at suggestions or just different people telling me the things they've been through. I don't deserve it, but it's all appreciated. For the first few weeks, I really tried to respond to every single comment, but obviously being gone the last 2 weeks, I've fallen behind, and it's kind of overwhelming. I do still plan to try to do that. There's lots of comments in all different directions, but I still like to hear where people are coming from, see their perspective, and honestly just keep moving forward. I still can't believe it's 9. I start my new job in 12 hours. And it's just so relaxing. I love my job. I love my career. I love my field. I can't wait to keep getting better at it, learning more. And I know a couple people have asked for a video talking about my career and what I do, why I do it. I do plan on getting into that very soon. But I just sat down for the first time really in 2 weeks, maybe even longer, and wanted to just chat, say I'm doing well. much better than I was. And I appreciate everyone that's been in my life that's gotten me here, because it's not been easy. It's not been one person. Yeah. I'm gonna go shower and walk my dog a little bit, since I haven't been able to for a while. And let's see how tomorrow goes. If you stopped by to watch, I really appreciate it. If you made it this far, even more impressive. If you're going through something, you just got to keep pushing. Keep striving for the greatness you know you can do. It's a good day. It snowed yesterday, but it's a good day. I'll catch you soon. Thank you.